what we have got here is we have got a relationship. And in this relationship, you've been feeling probably a lack of clarity and a sense of dissatisfaction with the current state of things. Trying to figure out what the answer is. You've been making some prayers, most likely. They have been answered, and it has come in the form of actually a waiting period. You have come in with some probably what feels like some rather dramatic communication, or if, depending on your timeline, you may be about to. Essentially, it's you're kind of drawing a line in the sand. You're choosing to stick up for yourself, and you feel that the other person in this relationship is um, not being fair for where you are, and they've been treating what should be at this stage with whatever type of relationship you have with this person, whether it's romantic, whether it's friends, whether it's um, partners in some kind of entrepreneurial venture, um, that they are treating this as a page of pentacles and that you should be at a knight of pentacles. They're still treating this like, um, oh, maybe I'm going to go ahead with this. This is early stages. I'm not sure, how we're going to be going about this. We're still figuring everything out, and you feel that, and spirit is supporting you at least in your, if not objectively, at least that, hey, it is authentic to you that you feel that both of you should be taking this, more seriously than is the current established dynamic. Um, we had these cards here that were when they fell out rather explosively, they're propping themselves up. So essentially, in your communication to this person, where you've stood up for yourself, um, by revealing the real you, by no longer um, just trying to appease the other person in their phase, um, you have been, and I'll just remind myself of the Seeker because that was the main. Yeah, so this required faith in, and then this is some praise for you, because it's quite fresh spiritual energy. You needed faith that, hey, the world is a beautiful place, and things are going to work out, and I'm going to stick up for myself, even if it means, um, you know, causing this uncomfortability, or even, maybe a bit of a pause of a separation. You may be both reflecting on this. You may be like, oh, hey, we're actually maybe the other person may be thinking, I need to think about this. Or maybe you may end they may end the partnership, or they may not want to meet your expectations, and perhaps you may end the partnership over that. But essentially, what you are sticking up for, it is authentic to yourself, and the prayer you've made around this, by asserting your power for and valuing your self worth, seeing, hey, this is what I deserve, this is what I want and what I need. Um, you want to be with, and it's kind of about, um, you know, whatever you're doing in this dynamic with this person, um, you're kind of like, this is what I want and need, and if you're not on my same wavelength about that, then I want to be with someone who is. Um, and Also, it just has, be gentle with yourself. You've been through a lot and need time to heal and recover. This has been quite difficult for you to do for yourself. Um, Now, we also have the messages to stay strong in your faith. A positive outcome is dependent on you keeping a positive mindset. To socialize or join in, make healthy and supportive new friendships and connections by getting involved with a group of like-minded people. And to own your divine power, replace codependent people-pleasing with assertiveness and empowerment. So it's very much the energy of, I'm owning who I am and the kind of people I want to connect with based off of how they're going to show up in my connections with them. Um, I lost my train of thought there, but that the people who are meant to be in your life will stick around, and um, if you're just going to make them stick around by compromising your own empowerment and your needs, then you're, needlessly sacrificing yourself. Have that faith that the universe, spirit, God has your back. That there are unseen forces that want the best for you, and that if you're choosing to stay in this sun in reverse, if you're choosing to keep, pardon me, if you're choosing to stay in the shade of where you are and not step out into the sun, that's on you. That's your choice. That's what you're choosing to do. But if you choose to step into the sun, wherever the sun is, whether it's in your current relationship or whether it's going to be somewhere else, trust that the sun will be there. Trust that you'll feel its warmth. You can see it. You can see, hey, there's sun somewhere, and you can see you're in the shade. So, you want to walk towards where you think you'll find it, wherever that is for you. Now, it's also, there is a bit of caution here, just around the Queen of Swords magician energy that showed up, clarifying the Knight of Cups. This is a relationship that is something you do celebrate. You do see value in it. We've also got the Lovers here, but there is also a sense of you kind of feel that there's some conflict going on under the surface. There's a bit of emotional tension in this partnership that is coming from either indirectly the kind of wish of the other person to be in this more non-committal energy, this more figuring things out energy, rather than we've figured some things out and now we're going to figure things out more together kind of thing. That they're kind of fighting that. They are fighting that. Now, there's kind of two pieces of advice here, which is, this aspect here. Have faith, be honest to yourself, follow where your inner calling is taking you. But that if you, this has been difficult, and you need to acknowledge that. You've got underworld in reverse, so that's in the negative aspect, which is kind of feeling like, oh, there's so many trials around, and sometimes it can feel like, oh, when are the trials and tribulations going to end? And Spirit is inviting you to not only have a positive mindset, but also to have a curious mindset. Because as you're going about this, you're not completely just grounded positivity. There is also a bit of probably like a sulking energy, really. So you want to be curious with how you're feeling, right? Like, feel your emotions. When you're feeling like, hey, I'm definitely feeling some kind of emotions right now, and I don't really know what's going on with that. I think I know. I think it's asking you to just try not to intellectualize these too much. You want to be keeping your intellectual side and your emotional side a bit separate at the moment. To be embodying the Queen of Swords in a positive aspect, you're having to split those things aside. Your emotions inform your intellectualization. Yes, that's important. But you don't want your emotions to be driving your intellectual, your discussions around this and your planning, your thinking. So take some time to sit with your body. Just feel the emotions and don't label them, and just accept whatever they are. Accept that, hey, I'm feeling kind of stuck, and I'm feeling, in an emotional rut here. And if you don't accept that you're stuck in that, then you're stuck not accepting it. And it's kind of only when you're like, I don't care whether or not I'm stuck. If I'm emotionally stuck, if I'm not emotionally stuck, whatever, I can still go about my life. I can still make my decisions without that limiting me. Um, when you're like, hey, whatever emotions I'm feeling, I can just feel those, and I can make my decisions regardless. Um, that's the energy that you want to be in to navigate the situation. Um, a bit of extra context here. Um, at this stage I'm describing, this is you've stood up for your values, you've stood up for yourself, you've communicated, hey, um, I'm needing more from you, the other person in this connection. Um, kind of more specifically, what you're asking for is um, perhaps just in the moment for the sake of the discussion, or perhaps this is what the discussion itself is about in a kind of meta way. Um, but there's a desire to um, stop withholding information and kind of have a collective thing of like, hey, this is what I feel I'm worth, and this is where things. More specifically, what you're asking for is um, perhaps just in the moment for the sake of the discussion, or perhaps this is what the discussion itself is about in a kind of meta way. Um, but there's a desire to um, stop withholding information and kind of have a collective thing of like, hey, this is what I feel I'm worth, and this is where things have been going, and um, figuring out where you're going to go from here. Having a very objective chat of like, this is where things have been, and I'm not happy where things have been. Perhaps if this were at an earlier stage of this, um, you know, shared intention between you and this other person, if it was an earlier stage, I think you'd be all right with it. But at this stage, you're like, hey, I'm showing up in um, some really good energy, and I feel like you're not really sure of your intentions. What's going on? What are you doing? But you're coming at that from um, well, really, look, you've got both Empress and Emperor energy coming up here. And I don't think this is about the other person. I think the other person has been showing up largely in regards to this topic as just a King of Swords. Um, or perhaps you're asking them to show up as this. Um, I think this is someone who largely shows up in Empress energy, who is embodying their Emperor energy to make this change. They're balancing their feminine and their masculine. Um, and this is this is the kind of change that like sticks with you, valuing your self-worth like this, being your own advocate, and trusting that there is a safety net for you. And there is. There is a safety net for you. If you stick up for yourself and it means you lose a connection, believe it's for the best. Also, there's a chance that you might not lose it and actually things turn out really good. Your prayers are answered either way. They are. You're going to get what you want, whether or not it's with this person or whether or not it's with a different situation. You know, it's a bit of a wait. Regardless, you're going to be waiting either way. You're waiting to see whether or not um, this person is going to kind of actually pick up this Knight of Pentacles energy, and how they're going to pick it up and what they're going to do with it. And when that happens, you want to be getting curious with your body. You want to be feeling, how do I feel about this? How does this connect to my authentic nature? What's the deal with that? This is this is influential energy. This is empowered energy. Um, And it's very admirable. I have a lot of admiration for anyone going through this, choosing this path, these decisions. And what I'd say to you, if you're resonating with this so far, um, be gentle with yourself. This is difficult. This is emotionally difficult because you've got like a people pleasing energy, right? So you've someone who in the past has been prepared to sacrifice your needs and wants for other people to maintain connections. This has been a pattern, and it seems as long as you continue this pattern, you're going to keep getting the same stories popping up. And just there, I knocked the cards off accidentally, but I caught value your self-worth in the air. So it's okay if you forget this. It's okay if you accidentally knock it off the table. You'll catch it before it hits the ground. Yeah, it's not too late to value your self-worth and stick up for yourself. Okay, even if you forget for a little bit, even if you compromise yourself for a little bit, that doesn't mean that you can't be in that 2 of wands, 7 of wands for yourself energy again. You can't be your advocate, right? It's never too late to stand up for yourself. And if you need a bit of help with that, you can be like, hey, I struggle with sticking up for what I need. And I have an issue with people pleasing. And when I did this before, that wasn't coming from a genuine or an authentic or an empowered place. I was trying to satisfy your needs and I wasn't listening to my own. And if they're a reasonable person, they should understand that. And if they don't understand that, you want nothing to do with them anyway. So yeah, look, this is going